Let's take you to the Western Cape now, where a silent war is claiming its youngest and most vulnerable casualties. The grim reality is that gang violence is a primary driver of child murders, where communities are under siege and the promise of childhood is often cut short by crossfire, retaliation, and ruthless gang rivalries. This is not merely a crime statistic. It is a profound social catastrophe unfolding on the Cape Flats and beyond. Let's speak about this with Western Cape Social Development HOD, Dr. Robertson MacDonald. A very good afternoon to you, Dr. MacDonald. Thanks very much for your time. Scary numbers. 63 children murdered there, and that's just between April the 1st and August the 31st.
Yes, we've had very high child murder statistics in the Western Cape since the last decade. In the period from 2013 until 2018, in that 5-year period, we were seeing an average of around 200 children being killed each year. And since COVID, because there was quite a reduction during COVID, as there was a reduction of all crime statistics during that time because of the lockdowns. But since COVID period, that number has started to climb to similar levels again. And the bulk of those murders are in the age group of children 15 and over. There's a huge involvement of children in gang activities, shooting incidents, and a recruitment of children into gangs, and that is really driving the numbers among the teenagers. There is also a lot of incidents involving alcohol and fighting, knives and gun incidents. So really it is a very severe situation, and it has been for the last decade at least.
Do we know why children aged between 15 and 17 account for, certainly in this instance, for 71% of the murders? Is there a particular reason for that?
There are a number of reasons, but if we look at the most prominent, it is the fact that there are a number of communities in the Western Cape where gang culture is infiltrating households and is profoundly influential. There are a number of families where there are older family members who have been in Paulsmoor or other prisons, where the younger children are initiated into gang involvement, and there are also gangs that are pressuring children, even at schools, to join gangs as a form of protection in neighborhoods that are often very dangerous. So the gang culture is very powerful in the Western Cape, and it is constantly recruiting young, new people into that, and especially also using younger children as shooters in gang activity. So that is one of the things that is driving the figures higher. And then we are also seeing the role of substance abuse and the drug economy as one of the underpinning factors in this as well.
I mean, and to point out the obvious, all of this is not happening in affluent suburbs. You're talking about Kraaifontein, Philippi, Delft, Nyanga, Mfuleni, Guguletu, Samora Machel. We know who lives there.
Yes, I mean it is predominantly in poorer and working class communities where we are seeing this. It is a legacy of a long history of gang activity in the Western Cape that began in the middle of the 20th century, and that culture is very much entrenched in specific communities where it serves almost a role almost like that of a alternative government. People look to the gangs as a source of protection, a source of law enforcement. The gangs often also providing people with necessities such as school uniforms, food, or even job opportunities and so forth. So it is communities that are vulnerable due to their economic status, they're vulnerable to this kind of phenomenon of being drawn into gang involvement due to a lack of resources and a lack of alternatives.
And if that is acknowledged, is there evidence or what is being done?
Well, I think one of the key remedies for the situation is to drive economic growth and job creation at a big scale. This is something that is critical to get us out of this situation. There needs to be viable alternatives for young people that can see themselves having a future in something other than being involved in organized crime and gangs. So the need for jobs, the creation of job opportunities is one of those things. The other, of course, is ensuring that our education system is able to provide a pipeline of skills that can support the economy and equip young people to participate in it. From our department side, social development side, we deal with much of the fallout of children who are already starting to experiment with gang involvement. We have secure care facilities where we are placing children who are involved in risky behavior through court orders into secure care, either because they've been involved in a crime and have been arrested or because they are exhibiting criminal behavior. And our department is at the moment expanding our facility capacity for these children to try and get them away from gangs before they end up being killed or killing someone else, and giving them a chance to rehabilitate and start a new, fresh life. And we are seeing some very positive results from the programs that we run. We are giving these children alternative opportunities. But it is a very resource-intensive operation, and we are in the process at the moment of major infrastructure work to create new space, as well as recruiting additional capacity to expand the bed spaces.
I mean, if all you can do as social development is really deal with the fallout, and there's only so much that you can do. As far as you are aware, are those whose job it is to create jobs and create opportunities, are your colleagues in that space actually doing what they are supposed to do, or what is their mandate?
Well, I think it's a whole of society approach, because the jobs are created primarily by the private sector. So we need economic growth. We need people to invest here, open up companies. We need people to create opportunities through opening up, for example, manufacturing or service centers. So it is something where the government's role is really, we need to create a conducive environment. We need to create opportunities for companies to thrive here. And that is certainly something that is happening if one looks at the economic growth in the Western Cape province. The question, of course, is, whether it is all coming together. And I think there's a lot of work which we still need to do around creating more opportunities in the higher risk areas, which is one of the focus areas of the Western Cape government. And also making sure that these children stay in school. And I think where social development is involved too is in helping to try and make sure children stay in school. We do work with the schools in the high-risk areas where they pick up children who are at risk. We can intervene quite early, prevent it getting to a situation where there's no return. And also we do prevention and awareness programs among young people and guide them in terms of alternatives to getting involved in gangs. So there is a whole continuum of services that social development renders in partnership with hundreds of NGOs, religious organizations, as well as other departments and SAPs. So it is a networking process to create more safety nets, but there are still some communities where that is very difficult to achieve. Even our own social workers are being attacked. We've had 54 social workers hijacked in the last year in high-risk areas doing the work that they do. So it is an extremely difficult environment to make headway in. Difficult environment,
but as you say, it's about whether it all comes together, and I'm wondering whether, in fact, you dare to answer that question you actually posed. Is it, I mean, you are one of many players, I acknowledge that, but are you able to say, from your vantage point, whether it is indeed coming together?
Well, I think the question is that there are some, or should I say, there are some sites of best practice where we're seeing very positive results. For example, under the Western Cape Safety Plan, we have established areas where we have what are called area-based safety teams, where the SAPs, additional law enforcement funded by the province in the form of what are known as LEAP officers, which are under the Metro Police, are also deployed together with social development staff, and then also participating NGOs, participating schools, and health services, among others, are working together. And we are seeing that there is positive results there. We've seen shift in murder rates, downward shifts in murder rates in those areas. I think the difficulty comes with trying to reach everywhere that needs to be reached. There is certainly a resource shortage across all government departments. And then South Africa as a whole and the Western Cape too are facing headwinds internationally when it comes to the economy. As you know, it's since COVID we've been in a slump economically, and we are fighting an uphill battle to try and bring more prosperity to South Africa. So I think government can do what it can. At the same time, it's not easy anywhere at the moment. So I think it is coming together in sites where we've had successes and where there are resources available. But as I say, there are also other areas where we are still not making the headway we need to. And some areas that have become so difficult that even the police have closed their police stations, for example, in parts of Philippi East, where they've virtually become no-go zones. So it is a mixture of success stories and other cases where we are not making headway.
Dr. Robertson MacDonald, let me thank you very much for your time. He's the HOD of Social Development in the Western Cape. 63 children have died between April the 1st and August the 31st in the Western Cape. 71% of them ages between 15 and 17.